Hello and welcome to this session. In this section, we are going to be working on JavaScript arrays. What is an array? An array is a structure that allows more than one element or values in one single reference or variable. An array is a structure that allows more than one value in one single variable or reference. So that's what we'll be working on in the course of this section. Another thing you need to know is that an array, you can have a data type. You can have the data types, all the data types that we have listed out, pass inside the array. So you can have a number, you can have a boolean, you can have a string, you can have a null, you can have virtually those data types pass inside the array. So firstly, what are we going to be doing? We open a file. So let's come down here, open a new file. So we have array.js. So that's what we are going to be doing. Open a new file, array.js. So we'll go to our index.html, then we change the directory to array.js. So we are good to go. So let's come back to our array file. So we have let my data. We have an assignment operator there. Then how do we create this? Firstly, we are declaring a variable. So the name of my variable is my data. So I have my assignment operator already there. Nextly, I'll create a square bracket. Then I pass in the elements that I want in this array. So firstly, I'm going to be using my name. I'm David, which I believe you all know by now. So I'm going to be putting a value of 25, and I'm going to put another name, Susan, then another value, give the value 30, and also I'm going to be using the boolean true. Okay, so don't forget to put a semicolon at the end of the expression. So that's it about the declaration of the array. So we have the variable, my data, then I have these values or elements pass into this variable I have here. So this is how we declare an array. So how do we output this array? So we have console.log. So I have my data pass in there. So put a semicolon at the end. Sorry, a semicolon at the end. So if you come down here to our console, we are going to see the results of what we have declared in our JavaScript file. So the result is right here in the console. So I have the value David is a string. So don't forget that every string must be enclosed in a quote, whether it's a single quote or a double quote. In this one, I have a double quote here. So I have the string slated right here. So I have a number, I have another string, I have a number, I have a boolean true value stated here. So if I click here down, then you see everything listed right here. So what we do have here is an array. So if I check here, you will see that there is a number listed right here. So the value David is equated to the number or let's say use the word assigned to the number 0. So what really are these numbers? We call them index values. We call them index values. So for you to access every one of the elements or values that we have in the array, we access them through the index value. The index value for David is 0. The index value for 25 is 1. The index value for Susan is 2. Index value for 30 is 3, and the index value for true is 4. So that's how they are being assessed. So if you come down here and let's say we come here, put a square bracket and put let's say 0. Okay, so you see only David is declared is outputted right here, because we use the index value 0 to get the value that is passed, that is already in the array. So the value that's is in the index value for 0 is David, changes to 1, brings out 25. So that's how this particular array works. So that's how they work. There is that's just an introductory aspect of what an array helps us to achieve. It's it's a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool in JavaScript that we use to achieve a lot of things, a lot of programs, a lot of things, a lot of programs, so many things that we actually use to achieve in programming using the using the arrays. Okay, so nextly, what are we going to be working on? So we have what we call array methods. We have some methods that we are going to be introducing to the array. So what really are these methods or functions? They are just used to manipulate the array. You can see that all these arrays are declared, are assigned, the values that are assigned here. We can still use some array methods to actually manipulate them. So here we have console.log. So I'll try to add new values. So try to add new values or new elements. So I'm going to be using the array method push. So we use the array method push to add new values, at the end of the array. Okay, we use it to add new value at the end of the array. So we have dot push. So what are we adding there? So I'm going to be adding victory. Okay, so what do we have here? Put a semicolon, don't forget. So you see that the length has increased. So what I will do here is that I will take this, oh, don't worry, I'll remove this and take this below. Okay, yep. All right, so you see we have David, we have 25, Susan 30, true, and we have victory at the end of that array. So that's what we use the push function to achieve. We use the push function to append a new value, or they're just adding a new value at the end of every slated array. So the next one we are going to be working on is pop. So we've worked on how to remove, how to add. So in this pop is how to remove the value we have there. So we have pop. So the pop helps us to remove the last element from an array. Okay, so that's it. You see that we have here, we don't have victory anymore there. It has been removed. So I try to reload this. You see it has been removed. If I comment on this pop and I put, and you see victory has been added. If I uncomment on it, you see victory is off. So pop actually removes the last element we have in the array. All right, so we have some other some other functions, so we're just going to be working with a few of them. So we have join. Now what do we use join to achieve? So we use to separate one element from the array. So using the join, so we have join. Then what are we going to be using to separate it? So let's put a let's put a plus. Sorry about that. Okay, so you see David plus Susan plus 30 plus, so everything we use the join to, you know, separate one element from the other using this particular character. Also, we can also use firstly, before the join, I would love us to use what we call to string. So the string makes the array, it converts the array to a string. That's just it. It converts the array to a string. So this is no more an array. It's now declared, it's now returned in a string format. So that's what the strings help us to do, convert the array to a string. So that's what we do. Lastly, before we move on, we have the reverse. So let's use the reverse here. So I'm going to be using the reverse. So dot reverse. So this will actually helps us to reverse element in an array. So it just helps us to do a reverse. Okay, so we just have here. Okay, so what do we have? All right, so you see the element has been reversed. Firstly, it was started with David. Okay, now it has started from the last part of the array, which is the last element is true. Now it's starting with true, so it's just kind of reversing the whole thing, bringing the last part to the first part and taking the first part to the last part. So that's just all we mean by using the reverse function. Then lastly, I'm just going to create another array. So I'm going to be using the concat function. This concat function helps us to join two arrays together. So we have let's say my person, okay, let's not my person, let's just say person, okay, square bracket, let's say Paul. Okay, Paul is 20 and it works in a bar. Okay, and lastly, I think that's enough. Let's put a semicolon at the end. Okay, so I'm going to be using the concat function to join these two different arrays together. So what we're going to do here, we have console.log. So I'm going to be using my data as the very first one to start the whole process. So concat person. Okay, so concat person, put a semicolon there, and oh sorry, I forgot I used an uppercase word there. So all right, so you look here, you see I have true 30. Okay, still using the reverse, and you see there is a Paul, there is a 20, and there is a bar. Basically you see that the process kind of helps us to join two different array together. So that's what the concat function actually enable us to achieve. So let me bring it down here so it's better for us to see it downwards. Okay, so it's better this way. So you see, brings the two different array and join them together. So that's what the concat function methods help us to achieve, bringing two array together in one single element. All right, so you see we have everything listed here. Every true, 30 Susan, 25 David, Paul, 20 and Bar. So basically our reverse method is still on operation, so that's why we have this starting from true instead of David. All right, so that's it about this session. I believe you learned a bit about not just a bit, you've learned a very good if you've learned something tangible on array and the array methods that we have in JavaScript. And in our next session we are going to be working more on the JavaScript syntax and some other things that we need to achieve in this JavaScript course. Thank you, and see you in our next session.